Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
I so badly wanted to say, drivers, start your engines. Farmers, it's time for a What's Working in Ag segment, and that might be a little tease as to what we get to talk about today.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot of agriculture, but there's an agriculture tie.
There is. Welcome to the studio, Steve. Steve from
Well, thank
the
you.
Sukup family.
Yeah, no.
First time
excited
being
to
in
be-
studio.
First time in studio, and a little bit of everything you got here. So
Yeah.
We
just
do.
you can always be swinging away here.
Yeah, you absolutely can. And we just got this bin put up probably 2 or 3 weeks ago that Jason brought me down. Oh gosh, that was when we went to Who Hot, so it was probably back in December. So we just got her up.
We've had our cookie jar for a while,
Yep.
and it was nice to get this up and in its permanent home for the time being.
Yep.
Now
Let's-
when we harvest, we can fill it.
That's right. That's what we're all about, is filling it. And it sounded like yesterday you got out with a few of the commercial ag customers,
Yep.
and
Yep. We had
got
to
to touch base with them.
hit the links. That's where business gets done, I guess, right? So that was fun.
Either on the course or on the track.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's what we're here to promote, because we have the Sukup INDYCAR Race Weekend coming up.
Yeah, no, we're excited for it. It's the second weekend of July there, that July 11th, 12th, and 13th. And
Yep.
So
So this isn't your first time being tied to it, but it's your first time as being the title sponsor. Is that what you
Correct.
call it? Title
Yeah.
sponsor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being the title sponsor. So no, it's the first time doing that. We've been involved with Indy for about 14 years. Originally, they had an Indy Lights series that we sponsored that one, and that
Okay.
was before the IndyCar race.
Yep.
And so we've always had association with it, and that goes back to the old days. Sort of never say never, but they sent Bobby Hansen, the Hawkeye, up to come talk to us, and they weren't sure how that was going to go, but Bobby's a great guy,
Yeah.
and he was doing some things with the Speedway and got us signed up, and it's been a great connection with our customers when you ask farmers, ranchers what's some of the favorite things they like watching or doing or following, and racing's the number 1 or 2 item that pops up.
Yep, absolutely. And we don't have a lot of professional sports in Iowa, so I mean that's why we love our cyclone so much, right?
That's right.
We maybe a little bit too much at times, and it hurts us so bad because we don't have anybody else to go to. We have to go to one of the other states, and so this is pretty cool to get something so awesome, IndyCar and also now NASCAR, coming to Iowa. So
Yeah,
it's very
and
cool.
to keep it tied to agriculture.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, it's a big part of it, right? Because don't they use ethanol?
Yeah. No, the IndyCars always used ethanol with things, the corn ethanol, and
Yep.
then NASCAR's 95% or
Yeah.
with the ethanol, and the racing fits right in, and
Yep.
be able to see the performance on the track.
And if I'm not mistaken, you guys have made the trophies for the race. quite a
Yeah,
bit.
no, we did it a little bit more than subliminal. It's a grain bin with the flying flag on the outside of the grain bin, and it's been a hot commodity for the racers. I think the winner, the driver, gets it, but we had the Penske's. We got to deliver one to Roger Penske's motor coach. They wanted a second one for winning
that's
the
cool.
pole one time, and so I think they've got it up in their Charlotte office. So
Well, if your crew drops one,
Scratch and dent.
we'll put the scratch and dent up on the show.
I bet that'd fit pretty good right by that bin on the wall and be in the background of every podcast. So
There
that'd
we
be kind of
go,
cool.
yeah.
Or sit right in the middle of the table.
right, yeah.
Well, if we were true professionals, we would have in a glass case the race trophy right now. We should have had it here already.
Ah, yeah.
Curated that.
Is it ready?
Wow.
Is the trophy ready?
Yeah, I think it's it's through our tool and die. We do it in Sheffield, our tool and die department, and
That's so cool.
yeah. So they like shining it up, and they've added a few different things to it, and then we do a few other things with the grain bins when we have like retirements at the plant, like after 10 years, they get one of the
Yep.
grain bins, and then now we etch in the names and 18 years of service and things like that.
That is
So,
really cool.
Yeah.
So explain the process of how you guys became the title sponsor, because I imagine that's not a light decision.
No, and it's one we wanted to make sure it was a match. It's a match for our region. The last few years, Jason Arndt, our sales manager, he really has brought in different dealers. We've had, I think, dealers from 5 different states come in for the race. So it's not just like a localized. It's a regional one that people track the racing. And as always, when they know there's a little bit of an affinity or association with somebody doing the races, they want to be a part of it. And so we've had some exciting times. And the last few years, we know the racing and Hy-Vee, brought in all the stars and everything for the singing, and that wasn't quite our line with it, and that became quite the production and everything. And
Correct.
I think IndyCar and Hy-Vee sort of had to do a few different things, and they said, hey, let's really focus on the racing and keep people excited. So they've really got a good packed weekend full of practices and the racing with the NXT race and then the 2 IndyCar races. And the 2 IndyCar races, I don't know of another weekend where you get one of those back to back.
So it's 2 full races.
Yeah, that counts. Both ones have full points for the racing for the season.
That's cool. Yeah, so it looks like Friday they start practice about 1:30 in the afternoon, and then qualifying that evening, right?
Yes. Yeah. For the NXT, the NTT, they also have practices of the regular racing there on that Friday as well. So for folks that just want to come out for Friday and sort of walk around and probably a little bit more of a relaxed atmosphere there, they can see both the Indy cars will be out on the track.
Yep.
And then that it looks like there's technically 2 races on Saturday.
Right.
And like I said, one's the NXT.
Yep. Which is the sort of the primer league for the IndyCar.
Like
that
AAA
a lot
baseball.
Of AAA baseball. The number of the IndyCar racers have come up through this other league, and it's the full teams. The Andretti's have a team. Arrow McLaren, I believe.
Yeah.
Penske. All of them have teams in this league to bring them up to the next stage.
Yeah, it's just it's just like NASCAR. You got to have ARCA and you got to have
Yep.
trucks and all that.
Yep.
You got to be able to develop skills. You can't just hop in a race car and go 200 mile an hour.
I think Steve needs to drive
It's
one.
not like driving an 8 wedge 200 yards,
yeah, exactly,
right?
Exactly. I'm sure Steve's probably been in an IndyCar. Have you been in one of those two up IndyCars?
I'm doing it this weekend. I have been in an IndyCar before. It's a tight fit, but I'm going to do the two seaters. So,
Do they go as fast as the race car, the actual ones?
Close.
Yeah.
Nick went down early one of the weekends last year, and he goes, that's one of the most exciting things he's ever done. So Nick had a blast at it. So we're going to make sure we get all our spots used up and have some fun with that. And we're gonna at some time, Jason and a few of us are gonna get together, and we're gonna decide who waves. Drivers, start your engines.
Yeah.
Who gets to say that or wave the green flag?
Man,
And
I should have
things-
practiced and done a lot better job at the beginning of this segment
Yeah.
to
You
throw
should have.
my application in.
Right.
Yeah, so I was watching Jason, and he was just like, well, we'll see on this one.
All right, we're gonna have to edit this baby.
I want to
out.
help with the trophy presentation because then that's where I can
Oh.
sneak one away.
There you
Huh?
go.
Yeah.
And there's not a third place.
So we talked about the NXT race, but Saturday night is the Sync 275.
Yeah, the Sync's 275, and Sync's tied with part of our Ramco acquisition, and then Sync has been what we're driving with our moisture and measurement systems for grain bins.
Okay.
Driving towards that.
So, grain bins themselves are pretty, low tech. It's steel and air and all that, but now you're getting technology.
Yeah,
right?
but you want to know what's going on with all your investment in that grain bin. And one of the things my dad always said, everybody's worried to go out. Once they put it in the bin, they always didn't worry. Well, they worried about it, but they didn't want to go up and look and see what was going on for 3 months. And so with our bin measurements and everything, and as long as you can look it up, control your dryer with your phone, and look up now and see what's your 50, 100,000, 200,000 bushels, what's happening with it in your grain bin.
Yeah.
We want to see that on our phone.
Well,
and that's what Sync's going to be allow you to do.
Let's face it. I mean, back in the day, everyone had livestock, and they were a lot smaller bins, maybe 3,000 to 10,000 bushel bins. If they had a bin go bad, I could feed it to some cattle. Mix it with some good corn, whatever. Now you get a 100,000 bushel bin, and that goes bad. That's a lot. That's a lot of eggs in one basket.
That's a lot of eggs, and that's always been the thing. Ethanol has been. You'd mentioned that earlier. The ethanol plants, they want good grain coming in. We always think, well, you're making ethanol, or that they can take anything. No, they want good, consistent product, and they know the producers that can do that. And whether it's with load out hopper bins or things like that they call up and say, hey, I need 10 semis, that those producers can get it over to them.
Absolutely.
Then we go to Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday at noon is the Farm to Finish 275.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that?
Well, no, our marketing team, we did have, it's not always a democracy, but naming the races, we threw out some suggestions, and our marketing team came up with Farm to Finish, and it stuck on. So anyway, so the 275 with things, and so we think that makes a good conclusion to the racing weekend.
Yeah. I just think it's great because that's the way all the TV publication, all the publicity for this race weekend, it has that titling. You get a lot of exposure for agriculture.
Yeah, and we always have enjoyed our logo and making Sukup synonymous with agriculture and making things that the way you want it to be. Give back to your community. Be successful, work hard out there, and have something to show for it. And so we enjoy showing that off.
Yep. Yeah, and we don't ever get the chance that often to be on national TV, worldwide TV. Really, IndyCar's a huge sport. And so you guys are literally on a world stage. So
yeah, no, we're excited. I mean, I've been never watched viewership that much, but they're in that million viewer range for these races, and that's quite honestly, that's where in the Jimmy Kimmel or whatever ranges, those are where those guys are coming in at. And so it's it'll be a national broadcast and on Fox regular, and the Fox, Fox and Friends and those guys have been doing promotion for some of the other races that have gone on, and so we're hoping to get a little bit of a connection with that, with a lead in the few days before, and the media. Yeah.
Well, I commend you for it because to have a worldwide stage, obviously not all of them people can use Sukup grain bins. So you are advocating for agriculture, and
everybody eats. Everybody. Our products. We think of corn and soybeans around here, but we do pistachios out in California. We do rice down in Louisiana. We have the crops all through Canada. Just this morning, Jason and the sales group had some customers in from Mexico, and they're down here for the World Pork Expo, and so the pork and poultry, we tie into all that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's going to be an exciting weekend. I can't wait to see it go off without a hitch. Hopefully the weather stays really nice, and we can't control that.
We can't control it, so it's one of those. It's going to be the chances of hot or cold or wet and
chances are
windy,
good it'll be hot.
Yeah. So anyway.
But rain, that could be, which I know they have some movement that they can do. Obviously there's only one race on Sunday, so they can move two races to Sunday if they need to.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. So there is some flexibility, and now with forecasts, I think we all generally believe the 24-hour forecast these days anyway.
So tickets are on sale now, I would assume. Looks like you can go up there.
Yep, IndyCar at Iowa.com gives you the schedule, and that link, you'll be able to find that right there.
Yeah, and then I think the Iowa Speedway website as well has some, and they've got the Newton Club there, and you can buy some of the different tickets for Newton Club for a little bit of the upscale and have an inside place, or the grandstand, and some different items that way. So they really, it's been exciting. They brought in teams from Detroit and Indianapolis from the Penske group that runs IndyCar to help manage everything, and the Iowa Speedway folks that's owned by NASCAR. They're fully committed to making sure everything works and goes around.
Yeah, I think that first year we went to the IndyCar race, Tanner, was probably the hottest weekend of the summer. I mean, it was drench your clothes, just getting out of the car, type of a deal. But man,
it's always an experience.
It is.
So,
It is
always an experience.
No, that's good. So outside of, obviously, this race weekend is going to be exciting, but there's been a lot of exciting things happening at Sukup itself. Of course, your support throughout Iowa and throughout agriculture, but how is 2025 shaping up?
2025, everybody's been working hard. Jason and Matt and the sales group have really been pushing out there. The farm side's, just been pulled back a little bit. The commercial side's been staying pretty strong. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was like at the last ethanol board meeting I was at, the CEO said, hey, that grain bin paid for itself in a year. So, grain bin's pay gives the operators the opportunity to do the marketing when the market. And, we've been looking at, I've been following the corn carryover, the world carryover, and it's going to be lower than last year, and any hiccups, and it could get to some historic lows. So there's potentially some opportunities. So that's why we're in ag. We're always optimistic. So.
Well, it makes sense that the commercial is staying somewhat steady because they're operating bushels in, bushels out. And we're going to produce the same or more bushels, whether it's $4 or $8. So it makes sense.
One of the most acres planted, and so watching a little weather, the rain, the 1 inch rain plus this last week was fabulous to see. So.
Yeah, we were looking so beautiful down here, and then we had 4 inches in one night. And
you got
and we handled it well. There's a few drown out spots, but good thing we were a little bit dry going into it.
It's been a weird spring for us because we've had ponds, and then we've had crops. The beans and the corn have grown through it. It receded.
It hit at
quick
a good time.
Yep.
And then it stayed somewhat cool and overcast afterwards, so that helped.
Did you see the other day that Nick Horeb put out on X Twitter poll asking what the highest ROI on your farm was? And the responses to this put grain storage in the same category as owning a sprayer and putting drain tile in. So very 3 high ROI items for our listeners to dive into.
Yep.
No, that's a great correlation there. Yeah.
So those are pretty key decisions to make as far as things go there.
And gives you long-lasting opportunities.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So probably the elephant in the room is the big news is that you're CEO now, but at this time next year you won't be.
Yeah, well, I'll be chairman of the board.
Chairman of the board.
So yeah. So look forward to. We've got a great group, executive group, along with our like Jason and the sales managers and the territory managers and product directors. So everybody's worked closely together. The last 5-6 years of just everybody has clicked together and made things successful. We've, as I've always said, I like seizing opportunities. We've had those opportunities like the Ramco acquisition, going ahead with Sync. We did another acquisition on a green stairs that's been part of our business partners, you'll say, at Sukup, and they didn't have they were interested in doing some things different. The majors are still there, but they wanted a little different avenue, and so we brought them in. And so always looking at opportunities. A few months ago, Emily and I was down to Brazil, and so seeing what, got to see what the others are doing out there as well. So
and it's exciting. I remember the interview that we did with you, and the way you described your leadership and described the way you've built the team around you is not only family, but it's also those that are quality, know the industry, extremely good people with high levels of skills. And it's just a testament to what you did in that interview 2 years ago that you're still practicing today.
Yeah. No, we got individuals that'll go out, make decisions, but they know the culture, the background that we all want to achieve the same thing, and we're all doing it for the right reasons. And so in organizations that can get sort of turned on its head once in a while, but we've really got the right group moving ahead.
Right. And then your daughter Emily is kind of following in your footsteps a little bit into the political side of things.
Yeah,
I listened
so-
into her Doge meeting the other day, and she's going to be coming in studio here. We just started a podcast called Rush Hour Ag, which is focused more on ag policy.
Okay.
And so she will be stopping by for that. So we're interested to see what she has to say. That'll be pretty
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. No, it looked like they had a exciting meeting, and a lot of things to discuss and
Yep.
take a look at and see what keep moving Iowa forward. I mean, we love manufacturing here in Iowa and producing and selling in all 50 states, and I think we're up to over 90 countries that we've sold product to over the years. Wow. And so we enjoy providing a good product for our customers there that adds value to them, which, like you say, I love that ROI deal with the spraying and the drain tile and grain storage. That's what gives you the options moving ahead.
Yep. It really does. I was thinking about teasing when we put these episode notes out that this was a Iowa gubernatorial press release. New candidate re-entering.
Never say never.
We could break it here first.
We could break it here first.
Oh, man, that's going to end up on a tabloid in the grocery store.
Probably should strike that one from the notes.
I had a friend that came up to Clear Lake Triathlon, or they have a mini one up there, and he wanted to know where I lived, and I almost went out and put my old Sukup for Governor sign out my house.
That'd be a good joke.
There we go. I still have them in the garage. So
well, didn't throw them away. You know what that means.
Yeah. I'm curious. You brought up ethanol earlier, and I know you follow ethanol pretty close. Do you think we'll ever get this 45Z thing or any of that through?
I believe so. I think it reaches across the aisles. And that's what, as we look at doing different things, you look at tax policies but are we doing things for the right reason? And reducing carbon is the right thing to do. 45Z helps incentivize it, but it is the right thing to reduce some of the carbon and be good stewards. And so I believe we will put the 45Z together, be part of the plan for tracking the scores and what can be done, and then as you lead into the sustainable aviation fuel, we have to be ready for that, to have the lower carbon scores so we can do better for some of the the Californias of the world and things like that that have to have low carbon fuels.
Yeah. You know what you got to have for 45Z, Tanner?
No. What do I have to have?
Well, come on, the easy answer is a pipeline.
Okay.
Right? Like you have to have the place to put the car. But the one that probably no one's thinking about is you got to have Sukup grain bins, right? Because you can't just haul it all to town during the fall.
That's right. You got to have.
So if you want to track your bushels and all that, you got to be able to store it because they can't take it all at harvest.
Yeah, and that's where I think our sync team will be part of that process going forward. How people measure their scores, and whether it's the ethanol plants or the others that you deliver your crops to, of what your carbon score is.
Yeah, I'm excited about sync. I really am. I'm ready for it, especially since we have that 100,000 bushel bin now. Like I want to know what's going on in there because it's a little nerve wracking.
I mean, we're a little bit special through the podcast, right? We get to meet a lot of the folks that are behind the scenes, and I'm probably most excited about it because I know there's good people working through it.
Right. Yeah, a good friend of mine is actually working on the team with you guys, so I'm excited for it, and everything I hear sounds great.
Yep.
So,
no, we can move the dial with sync and give everybody a little bit more control and information and get them the right stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, no, this has been a pleasure. Appreciate you again coming down to the studio. It's always neat to be able to
this is
show,
a highlight. Yeah,
be able to show our partners what they've helped us build, and of course we always appreciate the support. We're excited to see the race take off. We're excited to see Sukup continue to be a leader not only in Iowa but in agriculture. So it's our pleasure to have you as a guest today.
Yep, and we'll be hanging out down at Farm Progress show again.
Yep.
Yeah, Farm Progress and then the Louisville Farm Show. So it's always fun seeing you guys all over or wherever we get matched up.
Yep.
And
I think we're even going to swing by out at Husker and come say hi at least.
Okay.
You know, stop by the beautiful sites that you guys have at all these trade show locations. It's always fascinating to me. You've invested a lot
yeah.
into all these physical, permanent ways for your farm customers to come and see you. It's always cool.
Yeah, and that's one out to Husker Harvest. We've got a Sukup building out there, and we've been putting we had a little bit of pause with our steel buildings, but we're back at it.
Oh, you're
and,
back.
Yeah, we're running hard. So Husker Harvest has one of our steel buildings out there, and then, you know, we always want to keep our products close to our customers. We've got a new distribution center out in York, Nebraska, triple the size that we used to have in Nebraska, and so it gives our customers more access to the Sukup product. And, you know, the Colorado, Wyoming, those areas have been going nicely for us. Kansas, so yeah.
Man, that is news to me. The whole time we've been partners with you, the line for the buildings has been actually down.
Yeah.
And so we've never really have highlighted it. So that's something that we can actually highlight going forward.
We can give you a news break here.
There we
so.
go. That's cool.
I'm excited because we've got a shed at the feed yard that needs redone.
Yep. Well, and I really needed it a few years ago when we put a roof on this place because I wanted the high rib, you know, the
standing seam.
Standing
Yes.
seam.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
You know how hard that is to find that stuff sometimes?
Yeah.
It was tough. And yeah, supposedly the one we got was like the contractor had never seen it before and they struggled to put it on. I'm like, so.
And then
Yeah.
it's still not capped correctly because we got cap laying out there to keep the water from coming in. The water should just go one way,
Yeah.
downhill,
Yeah.
not in.
Wouldn't have happened if it was a Sukup steel, right?
It wouldn't have.
No.
Nope.
That's right. That's right. Nope, ours have been
I
excellent.
foresee a show coming on that because
All right.
yeah, that'll be cool.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, mark that one for Farm Progress Show. I think that'll be a lot of fun. No, thanks again for taking the time. We always appreciate
it's
it.
great whenever we see you out and about. Appreciate all the shout outs, Tanner and Corey, and it's been fun. And you know, keep moving forward. We've got new and exciting things moving ahead, and so we always like to try things. So, yeah.
That's great. Well, it's been our pleasure.
Yep. All right. See you at Indy.
See you at the Indy races.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
We'll give you one more time to try that driver's start your engines.
Drivers. Heck yeah.
You're not going to do it?
Start your engine.
Oh, that was poor.